Energy crunch may persist longer than it used to first to seem. However, we are still on the way to tackle this and solve this in a kind of a unproblematic manner. This problem may also remain for that longer that it will cause many blackouts and shortages around the countries of developing world. And what might be the final results and what time those problems might be fading away. Right now, about energetic crisis as well as about cryptocurrencies that recently were going through all the strains, liquidity strains, and about takeover of Binance that also spooked the crypto market to the large extent. Thank you for tuning in. Let's begin our new episode of Blockrevision. So right now we are heading into economy view, and I will try to start over with the midterm election results, as right now we are at the brink of the end of this poll, and right after US citizens have taken their votes, will have the end up of midterms that is expected to happen today. Right now you can find there's a map of which of the two powers are winning. Right now we have 48 to 47 for Democrats. Right now we still, however, have a few states to having the checks as a final result. So right here about who wins is like a toss-up answer, where Senate map looks like divided into two powers to the similar strength. Senate seats also looks like that already presented. Right here you can find that that may result with a kind of a deadlock, where two parties may have that type of governing power that eventually their initiatives may become a problematic for some of the actions to take. So right here you have Senate midterm election results still yet to get eventually been pushed through. You may also watch it on NBC News with a live updates as right here. Right now let's get back to our EU energy crisis problems, where we could find that energy security concerns in Europe are driving energy poverty in the emerging world. Right here we also found that fuel shifts to Europe been as here. Europe's demand for LNG is predicted to boom at the expense of shipments to emerging markets. We can find that in troublesome situation may be India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Thailand, and Mexico. And right here, those are the countries that also may look for another suppliers that eventually possibly will get into fruition. But for this, many shocks, many crunches may still happen with this kind of undecisiveness of a situation globally. We can find that there's a shift in terms of many relations in an international manner. That's why we may find that those problems may persist for longer, for the new world order, kind of new world order being turned up. So you may ask, what about the solutions of renewables? Those could provide relief eventually, as we can find here on Bloomberg, but for this one to happen, we need still much bigger investments, and those energy resources being introduced by coal or atom right now. Those investments were also underinvested, with the kind of a blurred hopes that nothing will ever prompt this one to get it much more stronger. In terms of crypto, we can find that crypto giant Binance agrees to buy rival FTX amid liquidity crunch. So as we are right here jumping to an crypto outlook, I will try to show you over the most important elements of where we are on a Bitcoin chart. But at first, let's have a look at what exactly prompted FTX governors to take that step. Mr. Sam Bankman-Fried used to be very optimistic about the future of his exchange. However, this liquidity crunch, as well as energy crunch, recently really got into problems of this company. As of the strategic partnership, FTX looks for this player, as that's the biggest entity in the crypto space. Right now, FTX expects this move to eventually protect users with the liquidity that will be provided by this supplier of Champingzhao's exchange. So also we may get through this regulatory scrutiny being yet to be tackled with that type of problems that recently crypto sphere has been going through. That might be the least of the problematic. However, Binance is still yet to handle with many with SEC governors that is looking for much more regulatory compliance. So FT, the token of FTX exchange, also has literally recently dumped. That's what happened to those expectations toward FTX exchange, that they will able to really get through this this bear market without a necessity of going through that type of the type of deal, but that was an kind of a reasonable move in order to not devote their users in terms of any type of financial problems that may turn up next. So right now those trends in cryptosphere making this crypto market to slump. Recently we've seen Bitcoin to drop below 18,000, and that's something yet to be discussed in today's episode. At first, however, let's have a look at economic calendar. So we are jumping into a market movers section. So let's get straight into this one. Right now we can find it on Monday. We had consumer confidence out of the Australia that was a bit lower than expectations, and right now we are even diving deep lower below those levels of GFC crisis and heading strictly towards this pandemic outbreak dip. Right over we had NAB business confidence also out of the Australia that was also lower than expectations. In terms of building permits in that country, we are also in a lowering tendency, but this one is oscillating around the very broad horizon, and right after rising to around 20s, we are in reverse and heading below neutral levels. Let's have a look at Wednesday, November of 9. We had already Fed Williams speech and also wholesale inventories month-over-month gauges been that one is yet to be announced. We had some speeches of Fed and RBA already through, and the world is virtually awaiting during this week for those ratings of inflation rate and core inflation rate year over year. That will be very important in terms of what the path of Fed's hike interest policy might be. Recently, we've seen a plateau that been through a few months, and that is why we are expecting this plateau to linger for now. The expectations of the market is that inflation rate will stay at around low 8% levels. Right now, let's talk about the charts. For this one, I need you to 1 second. For this one, I need you to get to sorry for that. Yeah, we are going to trade idea for now, and that will be that slide, and that is why we are jumping into trading view. On trading view, we could find that something wrong with my mouse, but we are already here. And as we can find on at first, let's have a look maybe at the crypto. Crypto right now is sliding lower. We can find that this 17,500s area is the new low that recently have been the level that previously been registered during this bull run on November of 2020. As I have mentioned, Bitcoin might be still on the way downwards as this bear rally, I would say, still have a room to go. We have a very strong support at around 12 and 13,000, and that's the levels of high expectation where this course may stop during this cycle. So Bitcoin to Tether right now is finding a new trough. We may have a further sell-off downwards with this bearish side being in an persisted mode. In terms of energetic resources, as I've already spoken, let's have a look at first at USD WTI that also hits up the market to the large extent. USD WTI is right now at the levels of 87 bucks, where levels around 90 and 100 are where OPEC is seeing those prices to be remained. That is why we are expecting this price to remain for at least a while, but with a kind of a looming crisis that is right behind the corner of our economy. Those prices of WTI may eventually break down. Recently on Friday we've seen this very strong demand candle, but I would say that also may indicate that that was the end, that was the local euphoria of that move being commenced on the second half of September this year. So there were kind of an attempt of crossing through recent high of first half of October, but no avail. Right here we can find that this strong demand candle has been negated by that type of rebounds that was straight forced by this head and shoulders negated formation. That's why we can find that further sell-off is still yet on its track record. Another resistance we have right around here, where I do find this rebound for USWTA may happen, but there is a very little support around those levels. That's why the very high likelihood is that USWTI may eventually head back towards 76 levels, with even with OPEC plus projections have been higher, that may eventually warn that keeping the levels of around and above 90s may not succeed. In terms of natural gas, let's have a look at natural gas. Recently, we've had this shooting star candle that was kind of a presage of the upcoming reversal. This candle, this daily candle, has stopped at the recent resistance, and right after breaking through the last, possibly the locally last stop losses, has reverted on a huge volume. Right now we can find that there is a temporary stoppage of the drop, but NG, natural gas, is definitely the one resource that is yet to head lower, back towards at least 3.5 on this NYMEX chart. So this candle that we are building right now, this very strong bearish candle, is the one that may become a predictionary for the next downwards slide forward. So out of either it's USD, WTI, or NG1 on natural gas chart, we have similar tendencies of rather selling off side than making it's another rally to the north. So in today's episode, I've just appointed you kind of a my projection on what will happen next with energetic resources, but about possible trade idea. I would await for clearer signs for this to set you a guidance. So right now I would expect those resources to rebound in a medium-term tendency. Right after, we will be talking about the possible entrance places. That's why I highly recommend you to follow our channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it. You won't regret. Thank you very much for today's episode, and see you tomorrow at 8:45 a.m. East time.